So, how many five-step financial plans have you tried that, well, just didn't stick? You know the ones. Catchy acronyms, super strict budgets. You feel incredibly inspired for a week, and then life happens. The plan completely falls apart. But wait, what if the problem was never a lack of information? What if traditional financial advice is literally skipping the single most vital step of the whole shebang? Stick around because a bit later in this explainer, I'm going to show you a ridiculously simple 15-minute daily habit that will absolutely flip how you look at your money. It brings us to this really heavy question. Why are you still in debt despite all the advice out there? We're living in this era of intense financial performance, right? Where people project all this wealth online while secretly living in total financial silence. The radical premise we're unpacking today is this. True financial peace requires complete emotional honesty, not just another new investment scheme or some fancy spreadsheet. Welcome to part 002 of our 100-part series exploring the joy of a debt-free life. Today, we're walking step-by-step through Chandra Prakash de Servi Gehlot's incredible roadmap. He's a farmer and a charitable trust worker who's seen firsthand how money stress just shatters families. And he's created a method that is entirely about fixing your relationship with the truth, long before you ever even try to fix your bank balance. So let's dive straight into Section 1, why traditional advice actually fails. You see, the reason traditional advice usually fails is because it's almost always trying to sell you something. The counterintuitive, almost anti-advice hook of this entire methodology is that there is absolutely no advice, no selling, and no coaching involved. Why? Because you can't be calm about a number you haven't been honest about. So how do we physically prepare for this? Well, you skip the complicated digital path of option A, the one with 125 pages of printouts and those annoying tracking apps. Instead, we go with option B, the farmer's way. Simply grab a cheap, plain 300-page notebook. That is literally it. Resourcefulness is a massive financial virtue here. All you need is a comfortable pen, 15 minutes a day, and a quiet place to sit. Which brings us to Section 2, the 120-day honesty roadmap. Now listen, this framework isn't some weekend crash course. It's a 4-month guided self-reflection journey where you absolutely do not jump straight into fixing your debts. The inner work has to come first. Month 1 is all about awareness. You're just watching your life, kind of like a fly on the wall, noticing where your money goes without changing a single thing. Month 2 reveals your patterns, really uncovering those hidden stress or boredom triggers. Then, month 3 is emotional honesty. That's where you look at your debt without saying, I'm bad, but rather, okay, this is where I am right now. And finally, month 4 leads to calm decisions. Clarity completely replaces confusion, and you stop reacting and finally start responding. But before you can tackle those 4 months, you've got to break the silence in your home. You do this through a sacred family meeting. Picture this. It's a Sunday evening, phones are totally put away. Step 1, start with a hug to lower those defensive walls. Then, you take full responsibility with absolutely zero blame. You share your intention, saying something like, look, I don't want luxury. I just want our family to have peace. You ask for help, you write down their ideas, and you close with love. This super actionable routine completely dismantles the whole blame game.
Moving right along to Section 3, preparing for the truth.
All right, once the family is aligned, it's time for you to face the mirror. And this requires some serious mental preparation before you ever physically write down your master debt list. Otherwise, well, they're just terrifying numbers staring back at you. The author calls your notebook something very specific. This is your private sanctuary. I want you to really let that sink in for a second. This process is safe. It's entirely free of judgment, nobody is grading you, and no one is going to snoop and check this book. But it requires total isolation from distractions. Sit alone in total silence. No phone. You are simply preparing the soil of your mind. Then it comes the master debt list. As the saying goes, silent debt is heavy, spoken debt is manageable. The book instructs you to list out every single debt, big or small. But here's the absolute genius part. Step 1 is to pause. Do not total it up yet. Walk away for an hour to just digest it all. Only then do you come back, add the numbers up slowly, and crucially, speak that total out loud to one trusted person. Speaking it into existence completely removes the darkness. Now, for Section 4, the daily writing habit. With the truth finally out in the open, we move to the absolute core engine of this 120-day roadmap. Because, let's be real, true change happens when no one is watching. And this requires just 15 minutes of quiet time every single day. You're tracking 4 simple things. Money in, like say your salary of $95, money out, like an $18 snack, but then come the 2 columns that change absolutely everything, your honest thought and your emotion.
So bought food because bored. And the emotion? Restlessness. You are literally mapping your emotional triggers right alongside your financial transactions. This is exactly how you spot the real why behind your spending.
Now, here's the catch. This daily habit only works if you strictly follow the golden rules. Number 1, no self-deception. Don't lie on these pages. Number 2, no justification. You've got to stop making excuses for unnecessary spending. Number 3, no blame. This is about your path, not what anybody else did. And finally, no skipping. You have to face the difficult thoughts head on. If you start justifying your purchases, the whole system just falls apart, for sure.
Which brings us to our final section, your first step today. We've covered the roadmap, the family meeting, and the daily habit. But before you even think about opening your notebook for day 1, I'm tossing a challenge right back at you. Ask yourself, why am I choosing to be honest now and not a year ago? That question's got a bit of a sting to it, doesn't it? It forces you to acknowledge that you've probably known something was off, but you've been avoiding the financial shame. Well, it's time to close that loop today. And here is the second really tough question. What is the one thing I am most afraid to write down? Whatever just popped into your head right now? Yep, that's exactly what you need to focus on. Your sole piece of homework tonight is to answer these 2 questions privately. Write them down. Confronting the thing you are most afraid of, that's where your true peace actually begins.
Look, this is a process, not some overnight quick fix. You are committing to a 120-day journey of honesty, and we're going to be right here with you every step of the way. Make sure you subscribe right now so you can track your journey alongside us through the next 98 parts of this series. Up next is Explainer 003, where we're going to dive even deeper into this roadmap. So do your homework tonight, get your notebook ready, and I will see you in the next Explainer.